On today's episode, we're answering the question no, we're not, because I'm on the wrong damn outline.
Yeah, making it work might mean you need to hire a CFO, probably, because I think entrepreneurship too many times is correlated to solopreneurship, and that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. We need to start making the money and using the money, because as long as all you're making is money, then you have to keep doing whatever it is that you're doing, showing up personally, like physically, and doing the thing. But when your money starts to leverage for you, then you can actually keep more of it, because now the money is being used to create systems to find the people and the superpower unicorns that are going to do amazing things for you in your business to allow you to keep more of it and allow that money to make more of itself for you. So it's great when we can make the money. We can make it that looks at, using our skill sets, using our gifts, creating the systems to really create that for you. But then keeping it is going to be more about profit margins, but also leveraging the money that you make.
I want to call out what you just said. If all you're making is money, and that it just kind of hit me just now. I was like, holy guacamole. That is an incredible way to think about it, because we all hear the dollars to hours and things like that. But when you put it in this frame of all you're making is money, you're not growing or building or producing anything that has any lasting value beyond the dollar
Yeah.
value.
And that can only be exchanged for so much. So many entrepreneurs, if you ask them, why did you become an entrepreneur? Especially if it's a person who's not, the serial entrepreneur. I love having businesses. Oh, la, la. A lot of entrepreneurs come to that experience after leaving corporate. Most people will tell you, why did you leave corporate? I wanted time. You wanted time, but all your business is making for you is money. We got to disconnect somewhere.
There's a massive disconnect. This is the only job that I've ever done where I've worked harder to, work for myself for 70 hours a week than rather than working 40 hours for somebody else.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. So we really need to give our money more to do. We need to give our businesses a larger job description than to just make us money and pay bills. And when we can do that, it gets really exciting. I mean, really exciting.
Like, how do we do that? What is it that you're exactly talking about? Like, how do we leverage that money for more and make it work for us?
Yeah. So when we're in the business, we're making the money. And the intention behind that is to make money so we can do other things with it. That's typically, just about everything we experience in life has some sort of exchange of currency. How do you leverage that money? You're going to take that money that you make and use it to create not just an experience, but create opportunities for you. Opportunities for you to, yes, have the experiences, but opportunities for you to have more of the things that you want. So we need to connect that dot. If you became an entrepreneur to give yourself time, your money has to have some sort of purpose that allows you to create time. So money needs to buy you time. If you wanted to become an entrepreneur to have security, then your money has to be used to create opportunities that increase security. That might be a savings account that you might want to have for your corporate name. That might be how much you pay yourself out of your business. That might be securing assets for the next generation, because that might be where you're pouring all of your security efforts into ensuring your children are okay. Whatever that first and primary reason is that you went into business, your money must be able to address that primary reason. And that's where you look at exploring leverage opportunities first.
You're kind of blowing my mind. I feel like every time I've come into this conversation, I'm like, you're blowing my mind. This is amazing. But it's a really interesting way to think of it, because we talk about hiring help in your business, whether that's a VA or a copywriter or whatever, right? And a lot of times people will go to that because they'll hire someone like me, a copywriter, because they want their stuff to do better, to make more money, and they don't know how to do it. But what they're really buying is the time they don't have to invest in learning it.
Absolutely.
When I have my VA, it's because it's time I don't have to spend, but it's also the skill set of organization that I don't have and own, and I want that in my life. And so
Yeah.
I pay for it.
And as a
That's what you're talking
copywriter,
about.
I think sometimes outsourcing any specific task could actually meet different need criteria for different people. So I actually write well. I don't write well for sales. I write well because I think and I'm eloquent in my head. I'm horrible at sales writing. I scratch that. I'm not horrible at sales writing. I choose not to invest my time in becoming a very good sales writer. So there is the difference there. So for me, hiring a copywriter, it's not just a time investment. It allows my brand to stand out in such a way that I can be competitive in a very competitive market. So I'm a wealth strategist. I'm not going to be putting out content that has grammatical errors. Like me and autocorrect on my phone are like enemies. I can't be bothered, right? But you, on the other hand, Allison, you can allow your services, not just buying me time, you're allowing me to be represented in a field in the way that I should be represented, to not just be competitive, but to represent myself the way I need to be represented. So the same task, a copywriter can meet different value requirements for different people. So don't be afraid of exploring what that value is, even if it's being met by the same task, but understanding what you value is important, because that's going to allow you to use the money you make to get the thing you value. That's leveraging. And that's how your money now is going to work for you.
There's a problem, and it's
Oh, yes.
really, really big. Nobody taught me how to balance a checkbook. Nobody taught me how to do the finances, my taxes. Nobody taught me how to find the right balance of money in, money out. You know, when I was a teenager, I got my first job and they immediately gave me a $10,000 credit limit, approved a loan for a $40,000 car, and gave me a $10,000 credit line and said, have at it, you 21-year-old girl, you. Right? Nobody taught me. And I made major mistakes, by the way. But when I started this business, the thing that I had in my back pocket, luckily, was I learned through another job. I learned some basics. I learned a P&L. I learned, profit and loss. I learned budgeting and things of that nature. But there's a lot of people, and I'm going to say it's the majority, literally had the same education that I did when I was a teenager, which was, by the way, nothing in terms of financial. Like, this is a big problem. Nobody has this education. And then we become entrepreneurs, and you know where everybody's spending their time? They're trying to learn personal growth, right? So they're taking personal growth classes, they're learning personal, like they're trying to up their, that side of their business. But the financial side seems to be the last thing that people talk about.
Yep.
How do you take what you're trying to teach people? First of all, make them interested, because nobody's going to think it's necessarily as sexy as it could be. But how are you going to help these people understand this mindset of financial understanding, or the financial lives that they've got to create for their businesses?
Yeah. It's like asking your child who hates vegetables, you must eat Brussels sprouts. They are awesome and you must eat them. Well, I'm sorry, that child is not going to eat Brussels sprouts because they hate vegetables. What are you going to do? What would you do? I mean, whoever's listening here, mom, dad, grandma, uncle, whatever it is, when you're watching that toddler who does not want to do what you want them to do, what would you do? You're going to encase that thing that you want out of that child in something that they absolutely love. So we develop things like zucchini bread. Holy moly, right? So
I love zucchini bread, by the way.
Oh,
chocolate chip
okay.
zucchini bread. Yes.
Okay, may the force be with you. Okay. zucchini. At least it's not Brussels sprouts bread.
Are you saying you don't like it? Because I can make you a zucchini, like a chocolate, chocolate chip zucchini loaf, and you'll love it.
You know what? I don't mind it. I'm not making it. And if you make it for me, I promise it will be devoured. It will not go to waste. But that's a technique. I don't have any proof for this, but I swear to you, I'm sure things like carrot cakes and zucchini bread was developed by a family that needed to get vegetables into their children. We need to adopt the same thing. We need to do the same things for our business, because here's the truth. The financials of your business are essential for you to understand. You don't need a degree in it. You don't need to go and turn it into rocket science where you can use some 9,000 character equation to figure out what's happening in your business. You just need to be able to understand it so you can benefit from that knowledge. And we need to start making some zucchini bread with your finances. Or, since we're adults, we can sexify the hell out of that thing and make it something that actually thrills you, turns you on, lights your light bulbs and thrills you. That's what we have to do in situations where there are things we want to do that we're just not too keen on. It might not be your thing. And then hire out, for heaven's sake. If you're going to hire, you're going to hire a funnel expert, right? To manage your newsletter. You're going to hire Jenny, right? And you're going to hire Allison to put together your copywriting, right? You're going to hire your mindset coach, because I know there are those who have the mindset coach. Why are you still trying to last minute do your corporate taxes? Invest in a financial professional who is going to take all these numbers and turn it into things that you value. Every entrepreneur values profit. If you don't value profit as an entrepreneur, you're not in business. You're probably running some sort of not-for-profit, unfortunately. But we need to turn those numbers into a language that shows you their value that you can understand. So finding that professional, it could be a bookkeeper, it could be a CPA, it could be an accountant, it could even be a financial coach that'll help you understand those numbers and make it make sense to you so that you don't run away from them. You probably start to salivate when you see how little you spent on marketing for the huge return on investment you get. Like, Google ads for a financial professional are like crazy money, because it's such it's a hefty place to pay to play. However, when you can master an organic strategy and see the numbers come in, hello, I'm buying lingerie, and it's just for myself, not even for my husband.
Right.